Yamagana Funyinacho, Emma Makwaba, the mobile TV XYZ, and a power 97.9 FM, so if a radio XYZ 93.1, and ne a feeder, or Pepombu Suming Nida so a year edu. Kasiebo ena yede erebremo every year main studios yewa number 37 Abebrese Street Osu Accra. Kasiebo ebekwa kofa voter power so 94.1 Global FM wo sharp water crowd instrument for one crank tabu em wo jasi kan jinyame ewo sampa nananom wa forgot so Western Radio ewo Exiama Elembele KFM ewo Pazangligi FM wo Bole Vinci Radio ni TV ewo dunkwa onofin Atom Local FM was Asitro High Radio so ewo Bechem Radio SM Online.com and in Apple 68 FM, our Virginia, USA, tune in Power 97.9 Daisy Radio, our Etley, Adam Fopa Radio, our Paris, G-Life Radio, our UK, OPD Radio, so our UK, my XYZ Online.com, multi TV, Digibox, Nesu Radio Channel, XYZ, so Kasiebo and Amho. Uko Facebook yawa Power 979 nefe Radio XYZ Ghana nefe uko YouTuber eye XYZ Broadcasting na efe uko go so the importem Kasiebo Eriko so hono Trinity FM ewo bogoso oti importem dan by radio eye 101.5 nefe Wimpan Sampa Widi FM ewo Pusiga saranso so na efifi mantem ho abiomudu hono ma mepacho Kasiebo enam eye kasafria horo a ewo hono nyina eso Isama bedimo akotimbi eni.
Enedria ya Ghana Mampani John Dramani Mahama or the National Muslims Prayers and Thanksgiving Service Ashaswa. Wadin Sam do one want to dry yen was a me for Senebeya was at some year debetimi a conking.
Na Yera John Dramani Mahama Edin Sebia to Guaquama a police domsa hine Sabre and Menimiano and Jum baby out there could do set Yatu about 2020 not Ghana for Femo Tiana Nanamusia Doni 2024 no behind Jemu Akodubiano of a woman abo Imra Nefe Yanni Penny for Betuchungo Mafaho.
Oh, so for Sabre Yapa no say Womasha ya the dear so was just said me ya ECG. A Katia would do be our dear go coming in one more entering transo.
Ora Mutala Muhammad Echrim Sasrafa Yera John Dramani Mahama Apa Wono or Reshem Jadi Womusa Wobetima Yejuma and Abuya Mangana.
Na ora team no wa mo kire se won dwumadi a mo de share so no hwa ba japade BNP piamanyoko no members ni bia wi a enyasem kuma
na kubin so edi petition akoma Yera John Dramani Mahama se Ghana yang abatu dwumeko no otitene ni a oda won ano eni na bedi enchirifo nyina yenhwe se yebepam won boni be no won aye ye ne won be kasafa ho
afutu akwama Ghana fo nyina se yebekura kuyawem ye se ne be yo man Ghana ebetimi atumpon
eyi eni sanfufuru pina na nuanom be no yang atena sia yede erebra mo se Kasiebo ewo TV XYZ Power 97.9 if Radio XYZ 93.1 enyumeku biadaro nti ene edi Kasiebo erebra mo
Medi Moses Clinic and Prostate Center wo mo aso yasne Little George Health Shop obo rahwa du papa ubenya biato Ruta Natural Product and what you know Roman Rich Chinese Clinic, Spanish Garlic Mixture and then the capsules, Power Specialist Herbal Hospital, Wamusu Ekra Mubi, Let's Talk Educational Consult, 3P Garlic Mixture, and Afenso Edu Herbal, and Wamudi Nupa who dwell by Japan so, Ostic Real Estate for Wamusu Ekremo, Solak Natural Clinic, and Haxa Mixture, and then the capsules in the Sabash Herbal Center, Wamusu Ekremo, and Wechino, and Duduanwaka Hua Etre, Yababu Bosso, at the Amamoko Facebook on this one. Power 979 FM. But me do comments not to every permanent. Ya back and kind at the mamo. I can come for ya see a dread numeri as some war me. Da chema. Akosia oforiwa. Amamfo mene
Akra Kofi da Kasiebo no emu inchirem ankasa eneng Yera John Dramani Mahama eye Ghana mampanyin na sabre one Ashe ayo penyin ono no ye natural for penyin eso ayo executive secretary to the president say ontwere onkrata tententen infan koma policy dom sahene Dr. George Ekufu Dampare say nhwehwem a won aye free 2020 yakoto aba any 2024 na Ghana fo Ghana de she Ghana fo a sebre wonkutetuo wonkuta jan ekoba say tuo kokasa won na won atu na nanom ensia do no nhwehwem a won aye biara biara won akodu no onfa manebo emedan aye Ghana mampanyin na aye His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Yera John Dramani Mahama mum etefo infa inchame Yera John Dramani Mahama odi kan edi nsemi etugwa ewo bra ene dey okakam besulumifo nyina ho ewo kanda won kramantem ha wo bra wode eye na asesom ehihye so na okiremu se ehu behia se ebetimi aye nhwemu akosi ase na empata de biara ewo ho se de be ma Ghana de hye won abusuafo no ye betumi aye ne sa se ne be ya akomatoyem ebetumi aba His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ni sema ne dey oditu gwa no ebini.
Even though this election passed on peacefully, we must recognize that a few of our citizens lost their lives. My understanding is almost 5 of our citizens were killed in the process of the election. This is not the first time. In 2020, we know that 8 of our citizens were killed. If these continue and justice is not served, then what it does is it breeds impunity. And that's why, as a party, we have said that we must investigate and find out what led to these killings so that we can take action so that they don't happen again. So I've asked my secretary, executive secretary, to write to the IGP to give us a report on the status of investigations into these killings. Justice must be done, and we also will ask the Attorney General when he takes office to determine fair and adequate compensation for the families of those who have lost their lives.
Ghana Mampenyin, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Ena mote ne nkane yankwa hamane so na ye ne owura Richard Kumado enko twetwe nkomo oyobi a eba no bambo mu nsem na nsem bia tititisa no wabin wo mu ye pa ye ne nko twetwe nkomo bisa ne se from 2020 NDC den no mu opposition ena Yera John Dramani Mahama kan semi ena ne won aba mu in fact ena waka biom se IGP nhwemu a won aye ebia a won akodru bia no omomoden no mfa metu ne lim no hu anamon a wobetumi etu yembisa owura Richard Kumado se eyi kwan su a ye na ma betimi aboa ana susu se bia na eye amanyose mu bo henti na Yera John Dramani Mahama orikanisa Richard yamo adwomo akwaba asembisa no ni ujedisa namon anase nsema president akai ene onam so a watwere sa nsemi enam ne executive secretary so e de akoma police dom sa hene no ujedisa ni kwan su a nengana
number 1 you can say non-punishable of offenses will always rationalize bad behavior and promote antisocial tendencies in society. Bro, 40 ni training se kwami kodi boni na ya anya isha kojoso nimse kodi the same boni a enkoti shi. Enti asen we ba ye no na ye kan say ebe hia kan case ni ko wenchi court ho no mu na court kan say ye ma mo compensation. Ba obeka ya na ma for kan say boys are criminals. The president at the time one can share and Electoral Commission report in Oklahoma can publicly say they've taken notice of what has happened. And see, me they say ne case way by damn sorry, none yes or yeah. Number 2, you ever call election a damn parade blueprint in the bayano. We can say blueprint in the very good. And one of the things that blueprint in the say, and can blueprint should give reference to Tekima South. Because of elections, no. 1 minute, sir. I'm not signing fraudulent peace park. We can say fraudulent peace park, will not stop election violence. And a party I want to sway people away and shade people from being held accountable for election-related violence. Lo and behold, 2024, Yakuminipa 6. Aside 2020. When you put all this together, what President Mahama is saying, even though it is part of the 120 days agenda, is that let's begin to deal with issues of election-related violence and let's close the chapter, particularly starting from Techima South. Now, you see Sariana as a benchmark for all other issues that relate to election violence in this country. And to me, it's in the right direction, at the right time, at the right place, and to the right people.
Na niabe no uhunu se abanga wonudi wonga juma eba na wie encheye omampanyin akufado ni baomia NPP abang no wo nia Yera John Dramani Mahama ye no bibetumi akase the past administration no one more and Ghana for who are now essence me say me buy.
No, it's not about whether I'm doing Ghana for who and I'm doing crime is a crime. There was one department where police CID block or baby President Mahama director of UC unit in our CID block is full of investigative units. One of them crime scene. Now our crime scene department, you know, scale one everywhere in the world they have been adjoined as the best. And it's not about whether they were responsible, they were not responsible. Yamamu new direction. And now President Mahama said, contact other people and set up a unit plus people within the CID block and give us a periodic report. Then she said that Paris cannot run away. And one of the units he must make good use of is the CID block unit, which is called the crime scene department. That's what they guess if you buy an report, you know, a young call your report in the Maya. And see on you see normal call back. They will reconstruct the crime scene and tell us what happened. And right from 2020, we will take most of it. Now, it's a bad government and answer it's a bad democracy. You are right to say, sir, John Mahama wants to enhance the democracy and the governance nature of this country as compared to his predecessor. Better late than never. It is the right place at the right time and let the right people deal with it, which is done, Paris.
Richard Angson Obekokrana Mamimbi South say a year 2020 about to num and if 2024 wo as a security consultant no o hwe nim say nia esi wo ayawaso west wo gono and also omampani Mahama and na mamu mpanyefo obetu wan among ana.
No, sir, Mahama Omar Country no the special counsel na country say don't set up a commission because Ghana at 50 issue no ho. What they are saying answer. I was always work on commission because those commissions, you know, you set them up as prior to high court. Then they will teach people to come there and lie because someone himself will try and talk now. You can't prosecute them at the court. Anything away or see damn Paris, set up a criminal at the criminal investigation department, set up an investigative unit with human beings to investigate it, which means that damn Paris is the custodian of the law. And Dampari means single duty here, crime prevention, crime detection, and crime prosecution. Investigation is the genesis of it. And see, say you have committed this crime, whether in 2020 or in 2024, you will face some level of criminal charges at the court. And now I'll start with the compensation for the people. The next one will be criminal charges against those who took part. And see, yes, I was so West work on fine. A dragon is to find. You can look at it. But then started free her. Yeah, we are. This docket becomes like a benchmark against all other election-related violence going forward from 2024.
Now, me say final question, but who share IGP in Prembria? Who did say Oboniba Kase or your fit? I'll bet me ISR investigation.
Definitely, one of the things that done Paris here, and he said, starters are not obey for recollation of results, you know, are setting it up, and some NDC people are calling for his head to be ruled. When I John Mahama demand, you know, a test case, or say offer work in progress report in Bra, to say you cannot be investigating the case for 10 years or 20 years, even though some investigations could take a very long. And see, any the percentage why you know Fabra. Now because a days of social media, they will publish the report of the IGP because almost 120 days of a list they are marking. And see, by this time, normal marking. Within 120 days, they are watching it so closely. And we are one of the promises we did at 120 days. Now, IGP Dampari has opportunity to ensure that he deliver. If he doesn't deliver, then people will say, you have an opportunity, he couldn't do the work, so let him go. Then they will bring in a new person. One of the things Dampari must do is to rise to the occasion because he has the opportunity of dealing with this case. Now, so report to the he has taken this Techiman South case seriously. Now the ball is in his court, and I believe that the crime scene department, I have worked with them for many years across this country, and I know their capabilities. If he use them, he will get the result. If he use the right people, he will get the result. Mami can't say wait because Dampari and his boys, they are listening. One of the things that Dampari, and from the latter days of 2024, especially problem here, some of the transfers he made and took certain people out of Greater Accra. It is time for him to bring those guys back. One of them, Raymond Adefin. The other one, Atiluk Ashon. Because his back is against the wall and he must prove himself. Other than that, Omo can say Dan Parry must go. They will have a bone to pick with him.
Yada CP, Richard Commando, Obi Awabin Wabambo Musemono, near Natrin Como, Young Sama Yera John Dramani Mahama, Edia to Guardia Kwama, Police Domsa Hinise, Bia Odin Joma Kodrugana, Deshe, Babro Ngoche, our Tiana Nanamusia, the 2024 battle, and the 2020 Abato Numuno, on Famu Bia Kodubia Metunenumno, and Hong Kong train the Akotrino.
Na enedria onwanyamfo John Dramani Mahama Ghana mampanyi wane yenuanum kramofo ye wo memo edi ahyiamu ya we eye enkunumdie kase ekoma no na ensafata se wode enase sonkokra ekoma ala eti ne oban kramantam emu a kopiemu ewo kanda na babia ye fita ni nyina eye enkunumdie na wenu ye National Muslim Prayer and Thanksgiving Service na wode hye so a wone yenuanum kramofo edi ahyiamu ane bosha hodo bia bre ya wo bontoa wo yadingina watch say what by no wabashe na wadi super pepe yamani boni wisdom hede jome na nidi sanse boya chia what mani boy so ede amaye
ene omanpen John Dramani Mahama akọ ene musliminfo akwakoye na asesum kese pa ya ne botaye anase asem tre da so nyina ne se wadanyankopon ase se wahwe se aba wokoto ye no ekọ totin na nkunimdie nso eye NDC for dia.
It is both a privilege and a profound honor for me to stand before you this August gathering today. And it is a divine coincidence that my first public function after being sworn in as president was to attend the Jalsa Salana Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission. And my second public appearance is at this national Thanksgiving for the Muslim community. We thank Allah for His graciousness.
Jumedie Yaseno, National Chief Imam, Ebaye, Sanso, Ena, NDC, National Chairman, General Secretary, any NDC members of Parliament, any Ekuku Ahudro Bibre, Sanso, Ena, Mampim Abediechre, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, Enso Eba Jumedie Nasibi. One in same Kaimunu John Dramani Mahama HSA or share senior Zongo communities and I say Muslimi for Eboye na basabasaye ankoso ewa batu imuno dia once wahano one tono ejejemu.
In the run up to the campaign for the election, my father, the National Chief Imam, led the Muslim group to present to me the Muslim manifesto for inclusion in our NDC manifesto. And as you've heard, 12 of the 14 points that were presented to us were captured in our manifesto. We also promised to provide more scholarships for students in deprived communities, especially the Muslim communities, to study 3 main subjects: medicine, so that we can have more doctors who are Muslim, to study law, and to study ICT, information and communications technology.
And which His Excellency John Dramani Mahama esanso de kokobo ama akendifo se won hwe se suma wo sum no wode timamufo hawo ebeye wo hawo.
The Quran reminds us in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 159, and I quote, that it is by Allah's mercy that you are gentle to them. And had you been rough and hard-hearted, they would certainly have dispersed from around you. So pardon them and ask forgiveness for them and consult them in all matters. And so this verse underscores the importance of servant leadership, because you are in leadership to serve the people. And to serve the people, you need to be humble and inclusive.
we ene ne toso mienu ya His Excellency John Dramani Mahama odi dwumadie ya etese na ewo mu no se nyame adomada kwesi adanso no obejoin ni Christopher nyina na won so wode won na asesom akoso ewo UPSA TVXYZ ene power Kasiebo bedi ekire na ne bekobia no yama waso ene wani nso ehun ahwebi
Yamani Boni Wisdom Hede Jome ana Yetinin Kane.
Yantua Kasiebo no so na Tamale Central Mrashebegweni Ora Mutala Muhammad din sama to gwachem se ohwe nipa basan yera John Dramani Mahama abo wodin prempren se wobeka ne ho ayasuafo asomo manga no jedi se won a wobedi akira ba nyina so wobetimi abo adwumaden se na be ya manga na betumi akonanim.
Some key ministers have been appointed. Minister in charge of finance, in charge of energy, in charge of justice and attorney general. Mind you, the challenges that these people have saddled, the MPP and the previous administration have saddled the people of this country with the issue of energy. They knew that it was going to be a huge challenge. Maybe perhaps they knew they were going to lose the elections. So we need to have substantive ministers in place. So these 3 ministers who have been appointed, Parliament, the select committee was also constituted. It is our belief that they would do the vetting within this period. And by the time we come back, we will debate and approve them in the floor of Parliament. So 1 week, I don't see that to be much, a longer time. But once the appointment committee is able to vet them, and then the report is submitted to plenary on Tuesday, possibly, and I believe that on that day or the next day, we may take it and then they will be approved. I don't think that there will be any challenge.
Mutala Mohammed Mrashebegweni madisha wong ewa Tamale Central na ne yeretete eni se bribia nsisande nyankopon yadoma joda won yenganimi no en appointment committee a wong ewa Ghana Mrashebegwem no wo be frɛ nipa basan aba na won atoto won ano na won abeye asuafo ewa Ghana maimu ha.
Nasani Pabia say ya onwanyafo John Dramani Mahama ebo wodi ba kwa wodi mu akotere onwanyafo John Jinapo ya wono wayo soafo asabre wo be kwhwe ye energy honomo ede amaye na wodi nsem atodwa ya wo chese dumso ne de se abanye teso yi se mprempre wo manfo mo na ye tintim fam ento na mo ye de a ebetimi atweniti de na so no ye John Dramani Mahama de atodwa chese Ghana fo maye mohu kura kwan bi obefa so na wahwe na ye nyina mo hodi mu nsem agya na so no obehwe atusa na mona no ene won manyafo John Jinapo wodi atu ECG animu sese ya akatua bia ekoso e wo mu akachetu atwa sika e ma companies ahodo no wo mo hwe no wo mo twentwen so ansa esan sempanifu ani abrepa yente ne nsem yibie
all the ECG MD and these was instructions with the chief of staff. He should cease all payments for supplies, and we mean it. I've told them, don't do that. And if anybody is listening and within ECG, whether the finance directorate or whatever, these are the instructions that we gave you yesterday. Please don't, and I mean don't. There are serious ramifications and serious consequences if you flout this directive. Do so in order to anchor and hold the system. All those numerous accounts will be closed. That's a fact. We can't have over 70 accounts. We cannot monitor that. So we need to reform that sector. And we will reform that sector.
Wey for John Jinapo and Ayatini Keko isi Jiwanwa account ahodo bebre and woma bia sikatua efa fa kones nomni ade wo se mprempren wo monto omobo wo montwentwan monan ase esan sempani for den sha ahodo agu akwan mu.
Kasiebo ne yekai mo se ukọ eyemfifi mantama Rich FM 98.7 ewo asinfosu enam honum live into betimi tie dia fa fe Sunset FM so Kasiebo enam ho yentua so na yenko yenanim kubia womo enhye abanga ase won den the Transparency and Accountability Movement Africa and award petition akoma yera John Dramani Mahama se mprempren opening ono no ye otitinani edi magana yang abato dwumaku no ya Madam Jean na adukwe mensa oni ni mpanyefo a wo mo ho nyina no ye won edi esansa won adwuma enso ani kui wo chrem se wo hwe adwumadi a maami oni na abedi ekirefo wo bedi free se yeto aba 2020 and 2024 no ohunu se niama bia ntototo ye enti wo gina article 146 wo Ghana yang afi apim ahankron edi okron ebien amamra ne so constitution ne so ana wadi petition akoma yera John Dramani Mahama se sampanyefo onwe se obetimi apam won yebo ye humodeng se yen sabetumi aka Ora Rashid Isa ono ena oye vice president edima sakui na yeni no atwetwe enkomo Rashid otimika me mu ajomu akwa ba high TVXYZ any power na radio XYZ Kasiebo so adenti na muse mami na juma nsu ani mi jedi se 2024 abato no bibia akoso ye na fe mukui boni ben ena mami ayenti a muse yenyi na di
yo akromeda so na mada we tie for so ase the mode atso power FM we na we be Equal no positive transparency and accountability. And no any idea, Juma. Yes, she said in an say, Obi Biara are buying Efika Efanase and our taxpayers' money Efanase, and say Otini are accountable. Now we are accountable, any Panqua here, any pay are buying Sika here. Now, your traffic, I share my major mensa and the deputies, you know. Omunyu mayeno kakra bisi ndemi ehuse enye adia eso eni na abatuo 2016 ekowie no na madam Charlotte Penwo ho ebefai na ye catcher na say we breach procurement and ready and I'm so ema na na don kwa kufa on pense ifibeka na na by ni no the entempara so eyi ni freho so se wo ba beton ni o mana so bisa enje in church and the other call. And now your farm manager mensa by. Now we're sharing you may take a cana bana. Prior to the 2020 general elections. Now, or my name, I had in Kakra. And I am a Sasha, I am a fool. Or my debt, a car edited to cram to me, and chia, your loans, no Kakra. Emma, Selba Kaya, Mountain crowd, where Cocos, beyond one of those who or my name, I had in. Na some raise also na manager mensa tina niche ko akoto biographic verification info or akoto computers afofo ene nkeka ho bibre na yeso so yenim se ebi go ho no ma eyedwuma but it's not here to about 4 years you know service nkakra ene edenia yetu no fu bia wenti ebo aban ne ka ekoto e eno nanchen o se obeye new voters register now it declare NPP in Madu 2016 is victorious well about to them. Eba ni say and order sorry dakura if you register no any credible. Ni say nintino wo ko akoye register fofo. And also so kan kwa beda ho. And on day no enipa a ewa Ghana for anatino mu fegu Ghana mu or expose ye to yare and risk of getting the COVID-19 here eba yi can see a castle lockdown will be unquestioned many things the area and from area. Mammy said they did that. A sign or no nay it's just a idea. Sabe a deal on a political party be arguing. Nipa ember there for me a line and go register voter ID card. Into when some can be here, the fool say when to me any oblivion my electoral commission our kunyano autosomo. You say or you politically biased. In fact, ocean in the idea, all the amount for Konja, Eddie may be no Mr. Mano, Oko, constituency bit to say Central Coffee, Alolobi, Honona, Sao Hono, or this review of constitutional right, parliamentary representation for 4 good years, no money nipa enkasa emomo. Inti se o nipa say or see a Akonyasu, na ontimi fani die efa ma Konyana. Yeah, you feel say your research no more than enough. Say by John Dramani Mahama by no. Ebeshe Emma Wakotuna if she near pay the pafofo. Maybe I know the say a day china ye din and a young she and a wire election to be declared in Jasana. And Sana Muria Essence no I'm sorry. Rashid and Kanya maybe some pony say Munye say Kwanga nsufa so etoy 2016 no and then 2025 mu pese ewianso ebosa esanse NPP fu eyi Charlotte say dinti ene bia mu nso mu pese NDC fu eyi eye Madam Jane Adokwe na mensa di akra bia na sa na obi betina adwen pese di eto but enyesa na emomo no proud to 2024 elections no the kind of petition call His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo na share so at the question
Rashid Ahamano.
Hello.
Say Mimisu kakra wo ho.
Okay, me say yes. So before 2020 for elections, you know, they did carry the petition. Ekoto, His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. Next year,
okay.
Say ebe nipe muno ono epe credibility for elections di muno. Anka mama region mensa onji na home kakra. Na one pay nipa fufo no bet na akonya ne so. Na ye de koto ho no enkosi aga. Na eno ema ye nya trimpo bi se ebia na aban no. Sa enhihye na yisi na ye koyi ne free ho no no. Emwa no nti wembia pitamfo.
Okay.
Eno na nam so. Eno na nam so ni yese se aban foforo aba. Na se wo se oba be research country no. Na se oba be hwe magana for nyoma entito ye no. Ato yi bia. Ye fire petition enko my Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Na ono so you're interested that yen hwe dia obetumi aye dia boaye.
Okay.
Na esan se odidi ye se dia odi ye obi a ompe no. Dia wa ompe no men fa nye obi no.
Okay.
Odi tibebi ena ono so se dia omodidi and
hello. Rashid Issa, or your Vice President, Edima Positive Transparency and Accountability Movement Africa, Pitam Africa, Ono Namote Nenkano, and MC Lino, at your to prepare Mono Yansakana, Yen in the Bacteria and Comotrition.
Na ansana onwanyafo John Dramani Mahama Ghana mampanyi papa bie wo befatira banwa so anase wo pre banwa no wo she Ghana fo bose MPP abanya wo mukoyi wo mwadi o man Ghana bro pa eti ba wo ba no wo bepaw eye ora team ya eba beboa ama woni a wadi sika o matoto o man yase o man agya pade de afa kones ni nyina no wa kire wo mu na wadi wo mu nyina afamra kwan so ampani ampa wodi o sayoyo ama na yi a wo beye mampanyi ora team no wo mu gusu a wo mu bo adwuma den ya yewra neta kofi bu ache wakati mu ne ho Martin Kpebu ka ho Remonacha Daniel Demolevo ena fenso pani a wodi wo mu anim Northton ra hyebedwani wo bonyafo sam okujeto blakwa ya che som do mu dwumadi ahodo agu akwam hwemu ahodo ekoso na no nei wo bonyafo sam okujeto blakwa ya wodi eye ora team yi animo wodi abeto dwa ya wo kire se emomu pa se MPP aban wo mu ya kromfo sa wo se wo mu tesu Ghana mampanyi na Nana Danko Akufo-Addo na appointees ahodo wo madi o man ya bro papa na ora team yi eye operation recover all loot team yi ba ye ya na nsanya o amdo mhwehwemu egu akwan mu no abaja pade ahodo a wo matoto na se e wo Ghana ha sen enya sam ketewa eno akiri sika twitwiri die ya kire se binum atabiri ya wo di afa kwati kwaso adie kwagu mbotom no wo se ne Ghana fo epani behwe enza se ye ka kire mo na montam chuku enche bia operation recover all loot team no wo mudom report nyina ba betudwa na se report ne ba e na mbehunu die twemo wo se wo ka kire Ghana fo se MPP aban wo madi Ghana bro pa dwurumudie proye kankan ebon wo mo ho a wo ma se o man Ghana atoto o man Ghana se ama ne economy enkoso ye nyina no se ne na gira wo mo ankasa so a wo ma mo o man yi eti enhwe ni mu enche bia wo mo report no wo mo de ba betudwa wo mo de betudwa e na Ghana fo ye nyina ye behunu die etuemu
Yanto Kasiebo no so enkopuem ewo nungwa esanse enkramantama na nanum atwankonwa opanyiga odawanga no eye president di Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs odi na nanum atwankonwa won ewo eye nungwa ena won ka ba chirimu ena odi ofre akwama omampanyiga odi na dwuma aba na wie na Nana Danko Akufo-Addo ene fei omampanyiga ono so aba mprempren eye John Dramani Mahama se obetumi aka ba chirimu na oman Ghana entumi enkonanim na niema bia enkoso yie no omunyina enkambom na niema enkonkan infa imayen opani ne de no friends am traffic shim no orichire mu se e wo se Ghana yen amamra no yetumi ebo ho ban na biako yetumi ba o se eba ne sa moma ena mbuntu betumi aba biom so o se yen hwe se atentene ne ebetumi aye djuma enti niema biara enkoye no o mampaninga odi na djuma ba na wie eye Akufo-Addo on hwe se on yewra John Dramani Mahama betumi aka ba chirim se ne beye obedang nema mu fefe e de akere yewra John Dramani Mahama on NDC fu se ne beye obetumi akra oman eye president edima eye Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs on kroya ye traditional leader edima eye Nungwa Traditional Council Professor Odaifio Welenchi out of Swebiesa na de nsantwefo nhemu a ofre ni sama okan no na yenua bia eye edubia ewo honom a ode amanebo yi ebre yen
Only many and the expertise of a whole lot Abramaba woman. Only Achu Ghana name. Only Ghana man be Anahejole. Ke Balake NDC winning. So all the parties say fair candidates I'm fair here. If Majache make a manemakishi Ghana ma Ibanye Ean. She money leni eleni. Ni money leni is an akalapata. Ke we are ni amonita a movement. Ako any famo. Ke no feno. Jackie Cabo Patoboe. Okoye function o kwa ke me ba fi gbo papa lo alo ba fi gbo bodu. Lo ke akamete me go mi e. Ni me ba hin ya ke o. Ani amechu ake gada bi lo. Alo amechu on behalf of their party. Well, I can't take decision.
One fan some no answer one mum or triaso, Echim, who been here, papa, say a bangy brawa benz so no if a bang did or better say Ghana me boom so, Wabama wonga quenya, na wonga ye, Juma, Sene Bear, and you are bet to me a concise answer me boom so, ayana, one I want him dear will bet me at the abuya or Mangana canco.
The mission of the government should be clear. Put together the most highly qualified group of successful leaders who will be able to implement the change agenda in Ghana and to begin the urgent task of rebuilding this country, specifically jobs, security, and opportunity. We are therefore calling for a national unity and in putting aside differences to work for a common goal. Ghana has no better example than its veterans. It often lays bare disagreements across our nation, but the Ghanaian instinct has never been to find isolation in opposite corners. It is to find strength in our common creed, to forge unity from our great diversity.
A professor ne Odaifio Welenchi a Otoswe Biesa, or your president, the Margaret Accra Regional House of Chiefs, and Nefe Nungwa Traditional Council.
Onwanyafo Emmanuel Buam oye pro isimrahye bedwani sabre no wade atodwa ya wo che said your man Ghana emu ayakono pa na wo se ade ba ko ye buam o man etumpon eye kuawe wo se ye de ani kokua ho a ebuam o man na bribia etimi egina ye etu wo to nsafre investors ahodo se brembre no won fa wo ho emeshem se ne be ye o man Ghana ebetimi etumpon.
The private sector equally has a role to play. So the synergy is that we bring the private man, government support, and here we go. Jobs are created for the youth. And this is where I want our people to look at. Ghana cannot be developed if we leave everything to government. So the private sector, those who have interest for farming, we are calling on you to come to ProAce. And the assurance you have is that anything you will need as far as government is concerned, it will be provided to you. There wouldn't be litigation over lands. There wouldn't be litigation over who owns this, why should somebody graze into it. No. Leave that to us. The stakeholders, we are going to take care of it. And this is what I'm assuring the people. Come to ProAce. Yeji to be precise. The strategy are going to harness your potential. Vast arable lands. And that's why I say, do you know that rice?
Onwanyafo Emmanuel Buam ena yatene ken Pro East mrahye bedwani no.
Higher power 97.9 FA TV XYZ and a radio XYZ 93.1 and a Jofano Sebram Kasiebo Yantuasokopo Santimantem. Na Endisa Manyukunu Mupanyufu a wong ewa hot Chimusakopo original coordinating councillor ewa Ashanti regional Kamia say what power so afufu bi so omra maye juma. Ebaya ding so benya baby atna esanse former regional minister Urasa Menon Semensa wetumi amu juma wantumi anya juma wo hono mtitabe bungalows ahoro ewa ho nyina no asay ewa hono ma Andrew Nana Kwesi our Ashanti regional chairman Dima Endisa Manyukunu ding semi etu yanga mane boni na napia nim
ye tu anamo ahwe bungalows ni ade a sebi yame ya dum na regional minister this is ba ombetumi enyem wadan ye dikan aba regional coordinating council eni na ye Asante president ifi nti ene ye ba ya ye behu ye no asefem areho se wo hwe edan a eye regional minister Bangalore na yen ye wo abamu no ye papa akon na otihano ye papa sapon na otiha ye papa anefia wenya bebi konya memfa ne crazy ye papa erifu opoku Your ministers and nanning nano, Yanko high hotels and yet are more. A ha and a now on your day, or what that a year juma. Now, yes, I work presidential.
And which in Ashanti Regional Secretary, Dima NDC, Ora Frank, Amwako Hineso, Edin Sembi, Etuga.
Yeba, in fact, I are because Libya, I cost will say over 8 years now. I buy Mum penny for whether president to whether regional minister, Omuntu or Monai Crown Fancy Hada. Now, the I say, baby, I'm not president's bank or Motina, baby, a regional minister, say them with natural mankind, we are by Albertina. Emunia, what is at the end? Now, the SIR, where say, I have a presidential seat, I am minister, as also I know. Or more about how by a Ghana police and military. If the Ghana police can't answer Penyampa and to be able to a air condition can see the Atunachi and the Anantia, the Babachum, the Afria, or frames are a year burglar proof names, animal, Yama, the Association windows, not the my building. Or to Tulina. It will be to have to Nadia Kaka, who do a free a brat. State security will be of the new. If yet, a argument have said. Yet, Obi Ohio Piano cow. Our hands of one night, the man. I want a estate manager or and 9 or 100. Into a budget here, Pianica 8 years and hands of one Ukraine and some won't say, and they import to be.
Ora Amwako Hene, Ashanti Regional Secretary Dima, NDC.
Yenji apomodin na yenkope Ruta Mesha enonom Ruta natural products ahodo na bedwama so Ruta Mesha no malaria fever ebeto ase Ruta typhoid typhoid fever ene hawa odonum bia typhoid no bebi ehye bia do ni nyina asibeto Ruta live eno so ye kasiem roso anase bia srade na agyewa boso a wonya bi na sa ononom a ni nyina asibeto nipa wa nyina enye na pharmacy shops ahodo atwe ho ahye Ghana ba bia wo benya bia to pendodom dia wo be 0244 5034 0244503443 Little George Health Shop Samin Control say and when we ya open no pabi say kowa mesha anase bia kowa plus mesha ubo ram Little George Health Shop obenya bia to Dominion about powder no ye du papa pa ubo ra ho so obenya bi Mr Kill vitamins ahodo minerals ahodo nyina ni juice ahodo no ubo ram Little George Health Shop one ro no dia ye papa pa obenya bia to na okowa ira kwan na mu chechemu bia no na wa 0243 140213 0243 140213
Ostec Real Estate also mean can say one once I say what dodowa ayikuma asebi doyumu afienya dowenya and facial health once I say ninano maso tribiara any huntu betimi afra won about 0244 684 069 0240 933 748 and 0266 101 406 nefe 3P Galaxy Mesha enui eyenoa sabre Food and Drugs Authority agia tumti uyo bia sebi uwo general body pain anaso tenase na nanga etititi kakra me pacho bomoden pe wonga nupa bi ewo kanshi kofisam na to be kins wo gotema community 5 Little Georgia kache nefe Medina nefe St John's nyina ko Health Alert Shop me pacho pe dudu etu anu afre Dr. Prince Mototi ewo 0248928824 and 0201 000 Omanga deshe yebegina yiso akoje yenga boafo nkrato yebeba sisi abetu ansem no so dia mamo Yadama Sisama Train, Higher TV XYZ, any power 97.9 FM, Radio XYZ 93.1. Ebrasu say yadi and Nijedi Kasiebo, Ebermanang Sanano, Mamifasi Dankoma, Hasa mixture, and Feni capsules, no pedu to our Uko Baby Biara. Yatonga do a Ghana for Nina Benyebi at Wonga Drunumi Pato, you'll be alternating Kakano when you see Brunia Day into Ubetumi Afra 0240 238 310 and 0203 822 855 Asidebion so and Koma Solak Natural Clinic uyo biana wo ho ayedinga ma ona se berima na wo ho ayedinga ma mepacho hwehwe Dr. Solomon Echira Kwan na omo akidni hu sensem utina se na onanga ho no prostate hu sem ni nyina no ubetimi akọ na kache ewo kokomlemle oben Harvard Senior High School no ubetimi afra 0553 932 631 na omwel Sarah Susuna Edu Herbal o se minga chosen na headquarters na nkasa no ewo mankesim be fikrum wo mfifi mantem na mom ni branch ni bi wo eye enkranha odoko official ta obe Christ the Medenza Preparatory School no na dupa no so benye bi ato Little Georgia Kachi Rich Joe nso ebi ewo ho upedudu etu anu afra 055 837 9545 and 020-104-4221 and 0243-989368. Ya edubia PSA lovely.
Yeah, very lovely.
Akrama betina say. Etio de Nijedi Kasiebo. Very, very lovely. Lovely. It's a Friday. Lovely.
Yeah. Intimation was Jo na akra na meshase EDF inauguration na Ora John Dramani Mahama we man no 7th of January we na eho na ne bibia na edi akotin pa wo mu ye na ntarea na ntarea na ohye na abranti a oye sa atare no wo frɛ no Matthew Agambiri na ode insembi etugwa no si atare no na ye nyina yefe na emom ode 2 months and prepare atare no and sakra sana inauguration no kwadu na 2 months na je say ye nto abakra nwie yo eba ne sen no nya sen disuade hunu no e de atare no somebody to go bini
planning it 2 months before the elections. It wasn't something that was too much of a huge budget. And fashion, for example, if you have a program the next month, I'm sure you start planning your outfit before. Sometimes it could be cancelled last minute, but you still go ahead and plan. And I felt like this was a whole national issue. It's not even only national, but the whole world was watching.
Entina eni amokote no Matthew Agambiri nene na amokote no na yengina yebisa se no Ora John Dramani Mahama de ansa na obehunu na yeden pa na oye den eno hie Ora John Dramani Mahama na oye se obeye atare ama no se John Dramani Mahama ohu ne pictures na ofa pictures no eno de picture no e design ne atare kama measurement ni bibia no ode ye no de koma no eno se some ode tu gani bi.
The same way I get in touch with most of my high-end clients, I created a brand that I targeted some caliber of clientele, and those people it's not easy to get them like that. So I took his picture and I looked at his body, and then I decided to estimate his measurements.
Right.
So I just wrote the measurements down, and then I started making some few items for him. So when I finished, I got in touch with someone closer to him, and I said, "Oh, can you deliver this to him? Maybe he may like it." It's the same approach I use on most people that I don't have.
Entina eni amokote no Matthew Agambari ono na Ora John Dramani Mahama atare a ohye ne inauguration day no ono eno pamma no bondana GGS ono no ye no de ma no na eno mu na Sonny Bedu Dr. Sonny Bedu oye gospel musician de ababetu gwa se Ora John Dramani Mahama wenya foresight bi se papa no obeye nyame adwuma na ese onyankopon nsa ewo Ora John Dramani Mahama so enuti na enche bia se na won inaugurate no as president of Ghana na sese no enche bia no wobesan so ama obe odeni Ora John Dramani Mahama ama no ababeye osofo edi ama Ghana hanum ti enu so ye hwanim se enu so no ebetimi akoye not necessarily that but onyankopon Ora John Dramani Mahama yo bia o Christo somnia de no odimu akutini ye pa wo honte bia na we ya chere ne se onyankopon nsa wono so obetimi de aye osofo na ye fi honom na ye nko music Tego sisters, Elizabeth Tego, or no womu bako na or the same be two gua ene, yeko shiamu ewo nungwa manche palace hono. Na somebody two gua and say musica, or one annual fundraising bianca whatever ma paying fubi. Na gamanche and I say nungwa manche no two gua se obebebi. Ne moment mi ama enutino Tego sisters by say oma wong asutie na sema or the at one crash stem ni ade or the ama wong nintino wadana sepaye in somebody two gua ni
program no 27th December na 27th December na every year there will program ayaye say fundraising dinner ni invite 83 na watai ntika fuichi for old musicians fundraising na yede support on well-being until 27th ye simuntem ya nye ye man tentem ye tu kwan te ba na afini man boys and music fundraising na for the inviting or him
Yo intina in summer Elizabeth Tego or no Tego sisters womu bako and now the two guanona nungwa man hine so edit two one and him say obehe say on an emang for no bet to two on sano no sikaka cran if what the amawon abayo be our friend or friend bonzona you or no or business mogul and or sang so Real Housewife of Bollywood Beverly Hills on also Okaho na Wisa in Fonino na Ojebi 3 days ago ni Malibu in Los Angeles, California. Ojana Tohwa show. Ebe se mfa se osuha nyina akra e na Ojano ato osuha nyina na ere show. Na Fonina amohwe no nifia ewo sa Malibu honom no na Ojano ahyew fi ne dwerebe kra wo ye ne fi kra enyeye. Mo MCR no. You into where ni fino ni fini mu no se na ete wo honom no se na fini ete na emomoja no etimi ahyew beye area ho nyina fie wo ho nyina ne de oja no ahyew no dwerebe wo ho a wentimi amfa ne hwe kra na insama lady no odi to go no say this is the house I wanted, the house I prayed for, the house I worked in blood, sweat and tears for, the house that I put a keypad instead of a keyhole in the front door because I wanted all my family and friends to have a code and use the house whenever they wanted. This is the house where I found peace. After battling with racist neighbors and a community that made me have to buy it within the trust so no one would know that window in same baby no the two gananti we will share TVXYZ Facebook no so mu say car bi na driving through the ways na highway no so na nchen na no dang no na ahyew ho ntina akra ene je de sem Kasiebo no we so na megina na mede SC bidin de ja edubia NPC.
Lovely.
Yeah.
But that's it. Yeah, the BPC no de energy de Kasiebo abraya no mami fasi dan come. Let's talk educational consult. O se mi ganjo se wa wo ne fe na oba na nya busumi asia de rekwa fa ne bra won. Wo betetew no e wo humesua kwan so won akira kwan e wo Teshinongwa Estate Mango Street ne so wo be Lejo Kuku Municipal Assembly no. Obetimi afra 0249 069 821 Facebook, Instagram ne fe LinkedIn nyina no ukọ no ma obehu won akira kwan e fe Medimosis o se mi ganjo se merima no yemra na ye prostate unsensem omunka ne ye infa imayen Medimosis o se mi ganjo so yo bia na sabio mpema goridi umo homode abra na obebua mpokura na so no de mammogram efre ni bi behwa ama na bibia konkan hypertension diabetes typhoid fever nyina obeto aso e de ama opanyi ti se uma uni efe ora chief paul munyina munko Medimosis akachi wo na munko japo mu de na ne manko so ye infa ma mpacho betimi afre won e wo 0244068447 0244068447.
Na Roman Ridge Chinese clinic said men control send when we ya de no ehye here fabra na wontu ase mfama say stroke na ha wo wakuma diabetes we chibremo liver no eno hawa ba ho Roman Ridge for say prempren ya no bra no fa onto afidie so wo won kan ha ya woni Indian High Commission no ene din hwani mahoma ne 0546450672 and afa 0556121863 we yadwuma fiti joda ekopem kwasie da Spanish Galaxy turmeric mixture and capsules no so drosun kwa onya bi wono no me na eboa e ma onase atata ojonso awoto ya waye Kasiebo ro so no etu ni nyina ase enupa wei Ghana ha pharmacy shops a wodo atwe ho ahia ubenya bia to opedodo mu dia na wa frɛ 0266 1141 0266 114111
Sabash Eba Center or La Paz importe me yara wankran o si minka kire se mu akoko eritete mo no nkope Sabash ko bites ni bi namonom eno na beboa mo efei mu a wo ho aye denga mamo nyinara umra na kache no betimi tu ase e de amakoko no se bi o se fifi ba bi kra na se ontimi nante wo yodrobe ni amepacho bo modern kope bi oye osofo wagena nanso sa wa preach ya nkoye Reverend Pabi misra kope bi na entimi emwa tema community 1 Babalen ubenye bi ato Kanshin Kings work ne fi dental pharmacy ashama fumu nko Equus Pharmacy na Medina nko eye Baywatch wo Old Road friend was 050 006 4000 and 050 006 4001.
Power Specialist Herbal Hospital was say hepatitis and a hawo say A B C D and E fabra ubetu ase sciatica and prostate ya dear liver no and natural sasrade abaho ulcer and compo fibroid and etete wa Power Specialist Herbal Hospital for say Brakumase one branch no fe Yasi Lake Bosomtree Road e kwan so a e obutu no banka so a eye kwa benya pokwasi ACP kwantimpon so a e na wom ebutu takraden so Anaji Estate e na wom e wom ye adjacent Anaji FA Primary School no wom e huma ne 0244 5444 220200 383831 e na fe 0555 797878.
Papa bi a ne den ede Ora Victor Odate Mills wenye mfrishia edusia enum 65 years wose oyobi asabi wenya adwemuka yare kakra na nabusafo erichrim se worehwe no nenenen wose enano enu frifie bepem le oma biom ye wose da orififie no no hye Lacoste NFA try suit bi eye black and white ena colors no eye NFA black shoe eno de frifie wose frifie eye opepombu sumi aye womi ni daito so anang 4th January 2025 yara sada no na emimenda ena ofifie wose da wo hu na twato na ewo eye gbagwe 0 important ho nti na abusuafo erekyere se obi obehu Ora Victor Odate Mills no ubetimi afre won ewo 0244 714079 0244 714079 ene eyinsu eye eyi enkaibo yenuabia yenyina yefrɛ Mago ene na abusua ansai abusua ena sabre woritunsa afrɛ Ghana deshe adofo nyinara ene eye won awodon won nyinara se nyankopon adoma eye Owura ansai ana nipadodo efrɛ ne se Owura Daniel Wilberforce ansai oye Madam Margaret ansai ni papa Mago ni papa oka nchinugu na no ebusuafo se yenka kyerem se nyankopon adoma ochina eye opepombu sumengini da betoso eye dubako yi no obeye ni na tweda ewe premantem suhum chocho factory park ho suhum chocho factory park wa ochina no pa no ngotwe pepepe ena wodi be hyehyɛ so enti wose minga kyerem se bia na ufrin kranha ufitakra de Kumasi Tamale ena ri baby na bia ewe hu kwan ni ya obetumi afrɛ yenua bia eye Margaret ansai nipadodo efrɛ no Mago obetumi afrɛ no ewo 0244 019050 0244 019050 enti wose minka kyerem se adofo nyinara umra na mume ejamwon yede nasie nso erekwama ma Gladys efei Owura Umar enefe Chief Paul munyina mu yadrabafo na no jefei yede mo ase ewa mu a mode aboye omangade hye ha na breni ade je obema ye kwan na jofa no nsembrem Kasiebo yede besum wo TVXYZ and Power 97.9 efe Radio XYZ 93.1 any young affiliate stations e wo Ghana ne amano ne nyinara no ha ene yede ne nyinara besi ede amamo yenga yede nsem ebramo meeting de Accra Kofi Dako anajufa mene
da chema akosia oforiwa amanfo
yadamase mamonitie anyway